Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis. So it is Friday, second weekend Red Sub event, and I had a question I was thinking for a while now. Who's taking Coinstrike more seriously, Evony or the players? So let's take a look at what we got here in cultural subs. So at first glance, when you look here, this is the second subpar red sub available during Coinstrike. Two in a row that were ground and mount, no range and siege buffs. We all know that range and siege are more highly desired. You would think if Evony was taking Coinstrike seriously, if they wanted to test it, they would put out some good subs. See what the player's resolve was. See if they'll pay for it. They didn't do that. Who knows? Maybe their thinking is we don't want to give away good subs on the cheap during Coinstrike. Or maybe they just have their regular plan of events and nothing changes and they're like, whatever, these are the ones that are coming out and let's see what happens. So now we have to get into, are the players taking it seriously? So there was an estimation by some people that revenue dropped by about 30%. My estimation was it was closer to 10%. Those same people who were saying it dropped by 30% said that monthly revenue dropped by 2 million. By my math, if monthly revenue is 20 million normally, because Evony makes 280 million, so that means that it's probably closer to 10%. It could be low months though, I'll be honest, because lots of their revenue comes from the quarterly events. So that is when people do coin the hardest. So those events probably bring in like 35 million, 30 million, and then maybe the other months bring in like 18 or 19. It's hard to tell. You can look it up, but those numbers aren't completely accurate. Let's just call it a split. Let's say that they lost 20% revenue. So let's compare. I'm going to compare right now. So let's look. There is 6.5 hours left in the red sub event right now for the first day. Okay. And these images I'm going to show you are from about 12 hours ago. So 6 hours into the first red sub event. So we're going to compare the prices and see where they're at. So this is, let's look at the images that I have here. So this is C6. So 6 hours in, it was at 536,000. You could see 12th place is 321,000. So let's see, right? Like this is low coining. It shouldn't go up, but let's keep in mind, this is C6 and they've never really bought into the Coinstrike and they're crazy. So here we go. Just right here alone, these 10 players, basically everybody has doubled in 6 hours. So it's very obvious that these are not, like all BOC points, anything like that. So this is status quo for C6 when it comes to red sub. If you look, 25,000 points is $100. I think so. That's a lot of money, right? It doesn't, the double and triple coupons don't get you any more points. They just get you more rewards. So it's 25,000 points and basically 250,000 is $1,000. Subtract the BOC points. So we're looking at, $4,000 here for the top spot and $4,000 for second place. And then from from like 4th to 12th, everyone there has spent at least $500 to about $800. So a lot of money coming in on C6, but you have to also understand that lots of the revenue comes from low coiners also. We've already established that. So now let's go to our next picture, Exhibit B. So here is, let's go, this is server 5, continent 5. So I think I said C6 there. It was C5. And I guess C6 is a thing of the past. Shows how much I know. And then here, this is current prices. 910,000 for first, 860 for second. So a little bit less than C6, C5. But pretty similar all the way down to 12th. It's 329,000. Let's look how they were 12 hours ago. Has this just been a coining fest? So here we go. They were at basically 500,000 and 200,000 at 12. So yeah, a lot of money went in there. Let's see the next one. This is C2, my home. Of the home of the undefeated and Shalon favorites, VLC. Quite the run they're on right now. Let's see what happens later in the tournament. So here is the current scores, 450,000 at the top, 300 at the bottom, and 12 hours ago, 350 and 200. So all of that, everybody went up only about $400. So not too much coining all day on C2. C2 looks to be one of the strongest in terms of who's holding the line in spending. And I would guess that C1 will be there too. And I would guess it's mostly because of just coining fatigue also. People aren't going to coin for 8 years in the game. C2, I understand, is some of them are pushing 5 years, 4 years. So now let's look at the next one. C1. Yeah, look at that. Other than the top place in the morning, top 2 places at 500,000. At the bottom, you're looking at 175,000. So that's mostly BOC points. Let's see how our brothers and sisters in C2 are doing. How are they holding up? So everybody is basically about doubled almost. So we got almost 800 and then 600, 600, 555. And at the bottom, 312 compares to 175. And then our final continent here, we got C3. Let's check them out. And C3 currently at 850,000. And we got 500,000 in the morning. 230,000 for last place. And here we got 330,000 at the bottom and 850,000 at the top. So if we look again, 500, and basically the whole middle was at 300, and C3's held pretty strong. So I guess you'd have to say, looking at this, that C2 and C3 are the strongest. C1's pretty strong, and C4 and 5 are not taking this seriously or participating at all. And now, just for my own curiosity, let's go deep down and see. So how many people have spent at least $500? Probably around here have all spent at least $500 today on C5, C4, and C5, same thing. Quite a bit deeper, actually. Wow, it's gonna be expensive, about $700, $800, $900 to get top 50 on C5. So that's always been Evony's strength. It's always been Evony's motto that stop coining. It's okay. We'll replace you with new customers. And it's hard to argue with their theory, right? Like, it does seem to work like that. But I guess we'll see what happens. Time will tell. I've always said, if this is going to work, it's going to have to go through All-Stars. It's going to have to go through an entire cycle of Shalons and All-Stars and get through the quarterly report for top games and go into the new year and let their stock drop because revenue is dropping. Because make no mistake, Evony is a big, big part of the company's revenue, and shareholders are not going to be happy when the price is dropping. So let's see what happens with that. Hopefully the players have the resolve to stick with that, to get the game that they like, get the changes for the game that they like. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about all this comparison, and like, subscribe, leave a comment.